Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, has been grappling with violent extremism for over a decade. But last week, the country made global headlines. The United States launched powerful precision strikes targeting Islamic State-linked camps in Sokoto State in northwestern Nigeria. These strikes were carried out using Tomahawk missiles from maritime platforms in the Gulf of Guinea. And according to the US Africa Command, the operation was conducted jointly with the Nigerian government after weeks of intelligence and surveillance. Washington said that the terrorists targeted were ISIS-affiliated jihadists who had infiltrated Nigeria from the Sahel using forested hideouts as operational bases for future attacks. Notably, the strikes deployed 16 GPS-guided munitions using MQ-9 Reaper drones, marking a rare US-Nigeria joint counter-terror mission. But why did the US intervene now? President Donald Trump announced the strikes through his Truth Social post. He claimed they were responding to attacks on Christian communities in the region. Trump also warned that these were numerous perfect strikes and suggested more could follow. In an earlier post, he had even cautioned Nigeria to stop the killing of Christians or face US action, guns a-blazing. And now Washington has acted. To understand the importance of this strike, we must look at the group it targeted. The US targeted segments of the Islamic State Sahel Province, known shortly as ISSP and more locally as Lakurawa. ISSP is the branch of the Islamic State operating across Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and increasingly Nigeria. Over the past year, the organization has expanded rapidly, growing in manpower and territory. In 2025, ISSP carried out a record number of large-scale attacks across the Sahel. They moved freely across porous borders and pushed further south. But in Nigeria specifically, a new threat has been emerging, and that is Lakurawa. Lakurawa is a local armed faction that recently pledged allegiance to ISSP. Although smaller, with roughly 200 fighters, it has become a critical bridge for ISIS influence inside Nigeria, helping the global network plant its roots in the northwest. Lakurawa's fighters have reportedly settled in border communities, recruited youths, and imposed strict religious control. Reports indicate they operate with brutal authority, punishing anyone who fails to obey their interpretation of the Islamic law. This expansion has alarmed both Abuja and Washington. Analysts say that much of ISSP's recent success in Nigeria is linked directly to Lakurawa's rise and the growing cooperation with foreign fighters crossing from Niger and Mali. The latest airstrikes specifically targeted Lakurawa-linked camps inside Boni and Tangeza forests of Sokoto State. Border patrols in Niger report seeing terrorists fleeing into the bush following the bombardment. The US military says multiple fatalities were observed. No civilian deaths were reported, although falling debris affected two nearby towns. For Nigeria, this collaboration with Washington signals a new phase in counter-terror operations. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth thanked the Nigerian government for its support and confirmed continued cooperation as extremist threats from the Sahel spread southward. President Bola Tinubu approved the operation after intelligence revealed that the terrorists were planning large-scale attacks inside Nigeria. Nigeria today faces not one but multiple terrorist organizations. For years, the northeast has been dominated by Boko Haram, its splinter faction JAS, and Islamic State West Africa Province or ISWAP. These groups have killed tens of thousands and displaced millions around Lake Chad. Now, ISSP and Lakurawa are pushing from the northwest, and they are adding yet another front to a nation already stretched thin. These conflicts are overlapping and often intertwined with other sources of violence. In several regions, clashes between Christian farming communities and Muslim herders over land and water have led to deadly massacres. Banditry, kidnappings, and ethnic rivalries worsen the situation further. While some fighters specifically target Christians, as cited by Trump, analysts say religion is only one part of a much broader struggle for resources, authority, and survival. In August 2025, gunmen attacked a mosque in northwest Nigeria, killing at least 13. Just a day before the US strike, a suicide bomber detonated inside a mosque in Maiduguri, killing 5 worshippers. To better understand local perspectives, here is what security experts and community leaders are saying.
To eliminate and disengage the Lakurawa, it is a welcome development, but to say that the Lakurawas are ISIS or bandit are ISIS, that is where the challenge is.
His point reflects a growing debate. Who exactly are these terrorists? Some are ideologically tied to ISIS, others are criminal gangs exploiting instability. Many are hybrids, shifting alliances for profit or protection. And this makes counter-terror efforts far more complicated.
So we are grateful with what the US has done. We are grateful with what Nigerian government is trying to do. They should make sure that they work as a team to flush them out wherever they are hiding, so that Christians and Muslims will have peace in Nigeria.
Now, what happens next? The US strikes are a significant show of force, but experts warn that the impact may be limited. UN estimates suggest ISSP has 2,000 to 3,000 fighters spread across vast terrain. Lakurawa, though smaller, can easily recruit replacements from impoverished areas and from the Sahel's endless flow of jihadists. Eliminating a handful of fighters will not dismantle a network that has been expanding for years. Many observers believe the only lasting solution requires not just military action, but long-term investment in local security, governance, and economic opportunity. The Nigerian state struggles with weak presence in remote regions, allowing jihadists and armed groups to fill the vacuum, offering protection, money, and sometimes even basic services. According to experts, unless root causes like poverty, resource competition, and lack of state authority are addressed, terrorism may continue to evolve in new forms, even if Lakurawa or ISSP weaken. So the recent US partnership could reshape Nigeria's approach to the conflict. For the first time in years, Washington has taken direct military action inside the country. But as the dust settles in Sokoto's forests, one question remains. Will this mark a turning point in Nigeria's fight against terror, or just be another chapter in a long and difficult war? Only time will tell. That's all in this edition of Connecting the Dots. We'll see you in the next episode with more raging issues. Until then, it's a goodbye from all of us in the Delhi newsroom. This is Munmun Bhattacharya signing off. Take care and stay safe.